Of Remnant Forest
flattened
for solar.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, isn't it? People just...
Today, it's our privilege to showcase the work of the one and only Steve Nowakowski.
The last true greenie.
Exactly.
A man who cares for the environment more than anything else and is fighting to save it from the invasive pest known as renewable energy.
3, 2, 1.
We were lucky enough to catch Steve Nowakowski's presentation at a recent community meeting where some of what he showed was such an eye-opener, some of it confirmed our worst fears, right? And all of it was delivered with only one thing in mind, saving the habitat and all that grows and thrives within it. The overall presentation is over an hour, so this is a condensed version. In fact, we're running this over 2 episodes because there are so many points you just have to hear.
Yeah, there's just too many things.
I know.
It'd be like an hour long.
It's crazy, isn't it? The first part focuses on the environmental attack from the wind industry. The second part focuses on the cost and footprint of going net zero and how at the end of the day, the system will still pretty much be reliant on fossil fuels, mate.
For sure.
There's a link in the description to the full presentation. Should we have a look and then have a chat?
Yep, sure.
Righto.
So we've planted tens of thousands of trees over the years. We run our own little nursery. We propagate our own plants, our rainforest trees. And we own and operate Australia's only cassowary rehabilitation centre. So we bring in injured birds, either from dog attack or car strike, and we rehabilitate those birds. They're really big rainforest birds, the heaviest birds on earth, and then re-release them back into the wild. And that's been a great organisation. You know, we've achieved some really great outcomes. But what we saw happening was the movement of this renewable energy sector into our neck of the woods. And we saw firsthand what was occurring, what was happening. And our charter is really to protect and restore biodiversity, but the renewable energy sector was coming into town and just destroying biodiversity. And by that I mean places of really good high remnant, high elevation, high biodiversity areas. And it all sort of started for me in about 2016, 2017 with the construction of Queensland's very first industrial wind farm called the Mount Emerald Wind Farm, only about 45 minutes west of where I live in Kuranda near Cairns. And I was pro-wind, pro-sun. You know, we need to build these renewables. And even though this particular wind farm was going in a really good remnant plateau, high elevation plateau, that's the price we need to pay. And I was actually engaged by the company called Ratch to photograph some elements of the construction of this wind farm. And what we've got here is a 56-metre blade, 20 tonne, and there's 55 wind towers on this site. So you can sort of see the scale there, and you have to realise that this is an old generation turbine from 2016, 2017. The new generation are basically twice the length of this. Okay, this is 55 metres. The new generation wind towers are around 85 metres, even pushing 100 metres for the 7.5 megawatt Vestas. So we thought this was big, but the new generation are even bigger. So as you can see, roads need to be modified, bridges need to be engineered to carry these big weights and loads and wide loads. For example, the nacelle, the centre gearbox for a wind farm, wind turbine, is around 300 tonne, so 300 tonne. So the roads have to be engineered for those weights. And in actual fact, the Caban site, the power lines had to be lifted over in the main street of Ravenshoe to get these big components down the main streets. Like I said, I'm a keen bushwalker, love wildlife, love our wild places, and I used to bushwalk up in this area, Mount Emerald, quite frequently. And I'm there with a couple of botanists, and there was 5 endangered plant species, endangered plant species under the MNES, which we've learned all about today. And they were going to be sacrificed for this wind farm. But we thought, well, that's the price we need to pay. This is that's a typical shot looking across the plateau. But what it is today is an industrial facility, carved up with roads, transmission lines, substations, and 55 wind turbines. It's now an industrialised area. To give you a sense of scale, I can't use the pointer, but you can see a small a bus. That's like a 55-seater school bus down below that turbine, to give you a sense of scale. But the new ones are even bigger. And like I said, they need to blast out the roads to get these components, blast out the ridge lines and to get the components into these remote locations. These are remote locations, high elevation areas. That's where the wind resource is through a lot of Queensland. And to access those places, the roads need to be pushed up into the high elevation Great Dividing Range or the coastal ranges. And a huge amount of civil earth moving is required. But so Mount Emerald was built, it became operational, and I thought, well, that's all we need, because the proponents, the developers and politicians were telling us that this wind farm was going to deliver power to 90,000 homes. And I thought, well, 90,000 residents, I suppose, but there's 100,000 people that live in Cairns. And I thought, well, that's great, because now we're carbon neutral. The city of Cairns is carbon neutral with one wind farm. That's how naive I was. And we're still being fed this lie by proponents and politicians that put in a wind farm that's going to power 100,000 homes or 200,000 homes. And I'll talk about that more later. So that was built. And then all of a sudden there was a new development called the Caban wind farm. And I had a tip off from someone within government department saying, Steve, the dozers are in there, document it, because this is another big wind farm going into some really good classified remnant vegetation. So I went out there with a drone, tried to get footage. Some of this footage I actually put on a high-vis vest, jumped into my mate's white Land Cruiser, looked like a tradie, and drove on site. Released the footage on YouTube the next day. The day after that, big boom gates, full-on security guards. And what has happened ever since, all of these wind farms now are very heavily fortified with security guards to keep people like me away, particularly flying drones. In actual Lotus Creek, you go on to stay in the road reserve, nothing illegal. Security guards will come out, intimidate you, and they'll bring out their own drones and fly a drone 10 metres over your head to try to intimidate you to move on. So that they don't want this footage to be seen. Yeah, so this is the Caban wind farm. So huge amounts of destruction in remnant forests. And we had speakers here this morning talking about how hard it is to knock over one tree or keep a fence line open. These are huge, big road corridors being punched through this area. This is all great, greater glider habitat, koala habitat, the lot. It's all there. Northern quolls, it's all there. Yeah, so really big civil earth moving. So they're the turbine pads. Then there was 28 here. This is only a small wind farm, mind you. So as you can see here, this is one of the ridge lines that's been carved off, being blasted out by dynamite. And you can see the concrete foundations in the foreground. Those concrete foundations are 1,000 cubic metres of reinforced steel and cement. So 1,000 cubic metres in an average 3-bedroom home, there's about 28 cubic metres. So that gives you a sense of scale. So you can see the huge amounts of cut that go into the mountainsides. And you have to realise those foundations need to cater for an 800-tonne crane to lift a 300 to 400-tonne nacelle gearbox in. So the roads need to be engineered to cater for an 800-tonne crane. The local residents were hoodwinked. They never knew that these towers were going to be the height they were. They didn't realise the amount of low-frequency sound they're going to emit. They didn't realise the amount of damage it was going to do to their local wildlife. They don't see wedge-tailed eagles or anything like that anymore. They're all gone. All the raptors go. So now they're starting to resist and fight and push back against the other wind farms that are proposed in their area around Ravenshoe, Tamulin and Caban. They weren't notified about the lights that flash at night. So their western horizon is now an industrial zone. So the lights are constant red, but the blades spin in front of the lights and they flash. So you've got all these red lights flickering on the horizon in there. So they used to see the starry sky at night, and now it's just light pollution. The impact on Saris cranes and wildlife is huge. Every time I visit the base of one of these towers, I always see a minimum of one dead bird or bat, sometimes up to 4. These are some of the species in one day. A white-striped freetail, northern freetail bat, Pacific swift. The Pacific swift is a critically endangered species, migratory bird, under the EPBC Act. Yep, and they fly in flocks. They follow insect movements after rain events. So all you need is one big flock to come through and you'll wipe out the entire population. On one visit, there was a half-dead little red flying fox underneath with a broken back. Had to ring up wildlife carer. They came in and euthanised it. And you don't get the data. You need to do freedom of information to try to get the data for dead bird and bats to get their surveys. They try to keep this secret. It's not common knowledge. So those wind farms were built near me up in North Queensland. I thought, well, what's coming? Because this is totally unsustainable. We just can't build hundreds of these. But in actual fact, we are. So myself and the volunteers in Australian Biodiversity Alliance put our heads together and we searched the internet. We went to websites, portals, EPBC Act, what's in the pipeline, state approvals, local councils. And at the moment, we've got about 319 renewable projects earmarked for Queensland. That consists of BESS batteries, pumped hydros, solar, utility solar and wind. So what I've got here, you can't read it obviously, but the name of the project, the tech type, the technology type, and also a web link. All of this is referenceable, so you can reference all of it. None of it is made up, it's not hypothetical. So if you collate that down, we've got about 5,100 wind towers proposed for the state of Queensland. New South Wales has 9,000. I've got to laugh, it's crazy. 154 utility solar projects are at different stages of the approval process in Queensland. 91 BESSs. The BESSs are very hard to find because they go to local council. I think the legislation has been changed a little bit with BESSs, so it triggers state legislation. It's huge, absolutely huge. The length of transmission lines is unknown. We don't know. No one knows. Chris Bowen flippantly says 10,000 kilometres. He's got no idea. You have to remember 30% of your electricity bill is transmission and distribution, and we've got to build about 10,000 kilometres, as what Chris Bowen says, to connect all of this junk energy together. And we hear a lot about really good projects, and there are, some projects are maybe considered good, but the Kidston pumped hydro, for example, is held up on a pedestal by the Australian Greens and the Labor Party as being a great renewable project. And on the face of it, it may seem to be that way, where you've got the old quarry pits that have been repurposed as dams, and then the old tailings dam covered in solar panels. So there's no, land clearing involved. But no one talks about stage 2, which is around 2,000 hectares of Thermida forest to be cleared to make it viable. Okay, so forests like that, which is remnant. And I can talk to you, I can do a whole presentation about solar farms like this in Queensland, earmarked to clear, where remnant has to be cleared for solar panels. In actual fact, the Waldoga solar farm cleared of concern remnant vegetation for solar panels. And then the offset area was a hillside like this as an offset area. Yes, I've visited a few solar farms, and in New South Wales, for example, the Beryl Solar Farm, we hear a lot about the coexistence of livestock with solar. I'm yet to see the coexistence of livestock with solar farms. And in actual fact, this one here, the Beryl Solar Farm, I went to this site, there was no sheep. So I door knocked the neighbours and I said, have you seen any sheep? And they said, well, they did have sheep in there, but 2 got caught up in the hydraulic rams because the solar panels move. They got caught up, died, and they pulled the sheep out. The other problem they had here was sheep were nibbling the cables and destroying the kit. So I think the new generation solar farms have the conduiting underground or up above the panels, I'm not too sure. So this doesn't run sheep. So that's the current state of play. There is actually a couple of new ones down to the south that I haven't mapped yet. So that's sort of like the spatial footprint of what we're looking at. And what you can see there is that these wind farms are hard up against the existing transmission lines. They don't really care about the tenure type. They do not care about vegetation or bushland or matters of national environmental significance. That is not even their consideration. The consideration is they want to be hard up against existing lines because it's cheap. And it's unfortunate that that line is on the western side of the divide, and then just to the east, you've got the high mountain ranges. So there's the wind resource up in the mountains and the high voltage down below, and they can connect. And that's what they're doing. That's the country. And this is what they're doing to all the ridge lines. Yeah, so I've got audio here, but it's not coming through. So this patch of forest here, koala, that's gone. That's been bulldozed. That's a lay down area for vehicles and dongers and work dongers. That's the office area. So that's gone. All those mountains in the background are gone. They've been flattened and dynamited out. So if you want to clear trees, just call yourself a renewable energy company. Yeah. 101 koalas were found in the ecological reports, 138 greater gliders, and just smashed to smithereens. And these places on top of the mountains have existed because of its rough, really rugged topography, remoteness. And these are the places that have survived in terms of high biodiverse areas. And it's these areas that are now being targeted by the wind industry. That mountain in the distance, that's been flattened, been dynamited out. I'll just fast forward a bit. Yeah, so this, I'll just go to here. Yep, so they clear a big swathe, about 70 metres wide, because they need these wide roads for the sweep of the blade. So if these blades are 85 metres long, they need the sweep to be able to get these blades up these mountains. So that's looking down the range of mountains. That mountain, they dynamite out those. So you see how it's a knoll? They use explosives to knock the top of that off. That's a quarry. There's 3 concrete batching plants on this site because of the vast distances. So they've got concrete batching plant to the north, south, and in the middle. So they're not moving concrete. Huge amounts of water coming out. They actually ran the well dry, and they're trucking water in for the concrete batching plants right now as we speak. And this is just a recent helicopter trip that I did over the site. That's for one pad. You can see that that's a drill rig drilling down to put explosives into the top of that knoll. They place explosives and blow it out. You can see digging out one of the concrete foundation pads. Yeah, huge amounts of cut and fill. So this project was set up by Eperon, and then it was proposed by Eperon. Then it was sold to Arc Energy, which is Korea Zinc. Then it was sold to Vestas. Then it was sold to Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners. Then it was sold to CS Energy, which is our state-owned energy corporation. So we own this. Steve Miles bought this project off Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners for 1.3 billion with a B, which equates to about $28 million per turbine. To show you what they do to the ridges. Yeah, so this was taken by an on-site worker. Yeah, so, yeah, they blast out. Sorry, yes?
Who owns the actual land structure there?
It's 2 pastoral leases. Yeah, pastoral leases, yeah. Yeah. This is the face of renewable energy in Queensland. This is not clean, it's not green, it's not cheap. Not one green group put in a submission against this project. In actual fact, they haven't put in a submission against any of these projects. It's just our group and a few others like Protect the Bush Alliance and a few others. Small groups. Sorry? This is it's green energy. They've got a mandate to do whatever they like. So you can see here the dozers there on the ridge lines. They cut it up and then they just blast out the ridges for the turbine pads.
It's a green running that one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Squadron. This is Squadron Energy, Andrew Forrest. Yeah. At the same point, so Andrew Forrest is building this. At the same time, he's building a gas import plant at Port Kembla to bring in gas, because he knows when the wind doesn't blow, he needs his gas. So he's tying up the energy market. Yeah, we sell it to Japan and buy it back. Yeah. And that's sort of like what it looks like today. That's half of this wind farm looking south, and then you look at it to the north. And like I said, there's another 100 going beyond that, and then another 48 beyond that. So another 150 towers beyond these. This is Moa Creek Wind Farm. This is west of Rockhampton. This is sitting with Murray Watt right now. So as you can see, there's grazing land down below, and then this beautiful plateau, big, vast plateau, very similar to Mount Emerald, of good quality remnant. And then I do the overlays to show where they're going to blast out with explosives. And they're going to blast right out the top of that cliff line to put turbines. That's all going to go. And what we're seeing with Murray Watt, the Federal Environment Minister, they're not going to stop these things. There's just not enough pushback.
Why isn't all these videos and this sort of stuff on mainstream media?
You tell me. Yeah. This is Black Mountain. They need to knock about 20 metres off the height of this mountain, so blast it out 20 metres to bring the height of the turbine down so it doesn't interfere with aviation, and therefore they don't need to install lights. Yep, blast it out. This gentleman here, he let me onto his property. He's very concerned. He had a dedicated nature refuge in the foreground, and the wind farm is on that middle ridge going west. So he's going to have wind towers on the boundary of his area, of his property. He can't do anything about it. So he's going to have, these are actually the big turbines, around 250 to 270 metres high. Yes, I did a bit of video out of a helicopter. Basically everything you see there, every ridgeline, every hilltop, blasted out. Moving along, if we look at, this is under construction now. Again, CS Energy bought this, so we own this project as Queensland taxpayers, and lots of heavy moving, heavy machinery. This is not, the amount of CO2 being emitted for these projects is off the chart. And it's just not the clearing of the forest, it's also the carbon sequestration that's being lost from destroying forests. It's just insane. All that land there, that's cleared. I think there's a substation going there. I've got to check the maps, but that was all cleared. Yeah, try to do that for a dam or something, Mount Hopeful, another one, crazy. They found yellow-bellied gliders and northern quolls up the top of those ridges there. Really good remnant. That's all going to get blasted out. Plebiscite's already approved that. So the key figures from all the mapping that we've done, if you look at Australia-wide, around 46,000 kilometres of new roads will need to be developed to push through all those turbines. There's around 447,000 hectares proposed for solar. At the moment, there's 29,000 hectares already of solar, and there's a proposed 31,000 additional wind turbines in the pipeline at different stages of the approval process. And if you add up all the capital costs of all those projects, which we've done, it comes to $1.38 trillion. And Chris Bowen was asked these questions. So the coalition last year, October last year, was asked Chris Bowen on the floor of Parliament, with this data, is this right? Is there 447,000 hectares of solar? Is there 31,000 wind towers? It's going to cost 1.3 trillion. Is this right, Chris Bowen? And he just deviated, changed the subject, and he's never answered the question. So as far as we know, we are the only people doing this work. And if this is a $1 trillion industry, how come it's a volunteer group doing the work? This is criminal. It's absolute. This is the biggest public policy failure of my lifetime.
So our heads were spinning after the full 1 hour presentation. Remnant forests peaks to be blown off so that aviation lights don't have to be fitted. Peaks being lowered 20 metres. What is going on?
It just looks shit as well.
I know. Well, it's destroying
what it used
everything.
to look like.
Well, it's now bare, mate.
What it looks like now is, and the thing is, what's the lifespan of these things?
25 years. So what happens after that?
What company is going to still be around 25 years that are going to go up there and actually clear that?
No, absolutely won't.
They're going to claim bankruptcy there, or they're going to...
Well, they won't have to bother, mate. The crazy part about this is these are hundreds of year-old forests, probably thousands of year-old forests. And for the sake of 25 years of wind, we're destroying them. And in 25 years, we'll go and destroy more.
Yep. Where the hell are the real greenies?
Well, we'll get to that in a second. No consideration of the environment. If it's renewable, you can just go ahead and have your way with it. Wind, solar, it doesn't matter. Go your hardest as long as there are transmission lines nearby. Where have we heard that before, mate?
Yep.
Farmland, agricultural land, arable land.
Yep.
Remnant forest. It doesn't matter.
No, as long as there's a transmission line going through it, they'll do anything they want. Where the fuck are the Greens?
Exactly right, mate. So Steve was a Greenie, right?
Yep.
He ran for them.
Yep.
He was a supporter of their party, and
he was wanting the wind turbines, and then he's looked into it more and went,
what? Exactly.
And he's done a full reverse.
Yeah, full 180.
Which, good on him.
Of course, because he realised that they were lying to him.
Yeah.
It's all a lie. It's a con, mate. It's a greedy con. The Greens have been paid to shut up. We know that. Yep. They're on the take. They are no longer conscious. They're much more interested in being paid by Renewables Corporation to pay off their party needs.
Yep.
They don't care. No conscience at all, mate.
No.
So much for caring for the wildlife. It's really interesting. Steve talked about the report into the koalas and the gliders.
Yeah.
What happened to those koalas and gliders? And I asked him that. I followed up with him, said what happened to them. And he said that all of that information is protected by Freedom of Information Act. So he applied under the Freedom of Information Act to get the information. And he came back and said, we'll give you the information. First, you have to give us $2,500. And he said, we're a volunteer program. How do you come up with that sort of money just to find out what happened? And he said, I would have got the document, and 3/4 of it would have been redacted anyway.
Yeah.
So he said they are hiding everything.
Yeah.
The cost, the damage, the wildlife effects, the impacts.
It's wrong on such a massive scale. It's just to think there's going to be another 30,000 odd turbines going in.
Yeah.
Think how much wildlife and trees and plants are going to get destroyed.
Yeah. When we get to part 2, he talks about the how are we going to put all of this renewable energy in and reach net zero. And it's a really interesting comparison, but we'll do that in the next episode. 1,000 cubic meters of steel and concrete per turbine That's 36 houses equivalent.
That's crazy, man, isn't it? It's just so crazy.
That is absolutely insane. 1 3-bedroom house, 28
is the average.
28 cubic meters, and this is taking 1,000.
Well, I mean, we looked at those ones when we were at Crookwell. And they were big enough.
They were half the size of these.
Yeah, they were only what, 140s or something?
150, and you stood under and thought, holy hell.
I know.
That is bloody enormous. So the locals were hoodwinked. How have we heard this before, mate? They weren't told how big the turbines were going to be. So same in New South Wales as happening in Victoria. No communication, no consultation every single time. And they end up with those red flashing lights. Right?
Yeah, that would be hell.
When you're used to nothing.
Nothing.
Just the stars. That's why you live out there, right?
Peaceful.
If you want to live in a city, live in a city.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just shit.
It is.
Really shit for people who live there.
Then he says there's plans for 5,000 more towers in Queensland and 9,000 in New South Wales. 130,000 hectares of solar in Queensland alone are currently waiting for approval in front of Murray Watt.
Well,
who doesn't care?
He'll just go tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10,000 kilometres of transmission lines still required and 40,000 kilometres of roads to be made.
40,000. I bet he gets built quicker than the bloody Monash.
No wonder we can't get our potholes filled. They're too busy doing this shit. The Gibson pumped hydro, green hydro, pie in the sky renewable energy. So then it gets shipped as green hydro, and then when it gets to the other end, it needs to be converted back to hydrogen. House stage 2, mate. 2,000 kilometres
just
of remnant forest.
Flattened.
For solar.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous, isn't it? People who would normally be up in arms about this aren't up in arms because it's not on. It's
not on the radar.
It's not on the. No one's talking about it.
No.
Only like a handful of little people like us and Steve Nalkowski, and that's all that's talking about. And then farmers fight back, obviously.
Yeah. And the Walker people, but when it does get on mainstream media, it gets 30 seconds or 3 minutes.
Yeah,
you don't get a story.
No, you get nothing.
Exactly right.
It's really quite sad.
Another person saying sheep and solar
don't mix.
Don't mix, mate. We've heard that now for 6 months solid. You put some sheep in with the solar panels that are on hydraulics, you lose your sheep.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Or they'll eat the wires, or
or they'll get so badly sunburned on the face that you've got to move them away anyway. So we've heard it too often now for it not to be true.
Yep.
There's no pushback. So the government feels they've got the public's blessing to push on. There needs to be more pushback, hence the petitions and declarations that we ask people to sign and that others are asking to sign. So in episode 2, we'll show you what the national footprint looks like, where planned renewables are going, what is required to hit net zero, right? And how much it will cost us and what we will have to sacrifice as a nation to achieve it. It is insane, mate. And idiot Bowen is saying we're going to do 82% of it by 2030 in 4 years.
Well, you know who'll be paying for that?
We will be.
Well, most of it will come from. Well, where else is going to get the money?
From taxes, mate.
They have no money.
Taxes and electricity bills. Yeah.
Cheapest form of electricity.
We'll talk about the $1.328 trillion it's going to cost us in the next episode. Let us know what you think, everybody. That is just an eye-opener. And believe me, what's to come in episode 2 is even worse for our future.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
See ya.
That's bullshit, isn't it?
You watch it and you think, holy hell.
You think, how has this been allowed, man? It's like, fuck off.
I know. It's exactly what you say.
Pack of dogs.
3, 2, 1. 1 week, I'm just going to leave that in. Everyone.
Yes, that was that, aye. Yeah, no, I don't think that was Jevon. What? You just instantly created another account. Jevon Wild West. Wild Wind. The name doesn't even make sense. Why would Jevon call herself Wild Wind? Yeah. So there's a link if you got time, Glenn. You got to work, I know. But or Agent Kira. Yes. Not going to strain too long tonight. Yeah. So, at the end of the day, at any rate, it is what it is. At the end of the day. And, yeah, so I've still got another week before I can stream on my main channel. Thanks to certain trolls getting it copyrighted and shit. Strike. Yeah, they're funny. Fuckers. When I say they, it's mainly one. One cunt that needs their head smacked in. Fucker. Well, I've been watching Bullfed Biff's covering the. Oh, he's just caught on the Martin Bryant thing, you know. He's a bit late to the game, but anyway. It's all very, very, very stiff.
And it really.
Anyway. Yeah, look, if ever you're going to get a tat, you know, just don't get one like this guy, you know. That's all I can suggest. I've never got a tattoo before. I've got enough scars on me. Who needs tats when you're covered in scars? Yeah, because I've done the work. So, yeah. Bullhead. I'll give him kudos for some things. But total top awards for being a show pony and try to be what's the word? Exploitative. He's showing you the new news that no one's ever seen, and yeah, he shows a lot of stuff I've already showed. So, I don't know. But at least he went on to the Desi standoff property. That's the biggest kudos I'll give him. What was 22 years ago? Port Arthur? No, it was longer than that. 32 years ago, that sounds right. Yeah, it was what? 1996, I think. Yeah. 1996 it was. God, the light's bad in here. Hey, Bruno's going to bed. Joni just left. He's going to bed now. Baby's a bit in sleep. 2 hours ago. Yeah. Need another beer. Home brew. Yeah, got to get back on the home brew. Having kept the production going. It's hard during winter. I love doing it during summer. But winter, it sucks. Anyway. Yeah, so. Yeah, 30 years ago. Wow. So, got a new neighbour, Glenn. Some lady from Cairns. You know, where that guy was just watching was from. Yeah, that was a good, yeah, he's done they're doing a few good ones about this renewable energy bullshit scam that's destroying our fucking, it's not the fucking killing the brumbies and shooting koalas out of trees because they're getting too many and have to go and destroy the habitats of other native animals and shit, quolls and let alone just the reptiles alone. they'll be killing when they clear all this land. How many animals get killed in the process? I mean, I'm sure they just get taken by surprise a lot of times, bulldozing down trees. No, not the kangaroo paddock. No, the house. The main house. Yeah. The guy, Jared. He sold up. He shifted out Sunday. Yeah. He came to tell me he's sold and he's just getting his last of his load and going to live in Sale. Has to be near the hospital now and shit. And had to quit his job because of health. Catches up to the best of us. He's a nice guy, Jared. He's a good neighbour. Never ever complained. This new neighbour, she's got a little dog, a little Scottish Terrier. Bruno and the dog have seen each other, but the little dog doesn't seem to go near the fence, which is good. Seems pretty well trained. Looks like it's pretty old too, the poor thing. And hopefully I can get Bruno get used to it. So he's not there now. Jared, been here for years. That's what happens when you have to retire. Anyway, but I don't know what he sold it for. I know it wasn't what he could have got for it like a few years back, because now they've made it a flood zone. Some weird reason when it doesn't fucking flood here. It hasn't flooded here since 1968, 67 or something. But no, it's considered flood zone now. Right. Fucking liars. Anyway, legends, let's check out this champ. If ever you see Biff, just say, "G'day, champ." And he loves that. Glenn, you gotta admit he's a little bit annoying, cringy sometimes. Anyway, I shouldn't talk too bad about him because I'm showing his content. I should be giving him a big rap and everything. Yes, up to Biff. Chaos Chronicles legends and guns and bullets and prison and bikes and shit.
Smart enough to do what they are alleging. There are a lot of people out there that are saying that he definitely was not. And Chopper Reed is actually one of those people.
All I have in this world is my laws, my word, and I don't break them for no reason.
Yeah. He did say he's on the Asperger's.
Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another banger. And so today we're diving back into the Martin Bryant stuff with the Wasp Files again, and also I've got another video from Chopper Reed speaking on the same issue. And the issue is, could Martin Bryant have been smart enough to take out very precision military style shooting on the day, where, multiple professionals have come forward and said that, there are very few and far between people on the planet that would able to, do what he is alleged to have done and, taking out that many people with such precision in such a short amount of time. And so we're going to dive right into that again. But before we get into it, legends, if you haven't already, please jump down there, shoot me a subscription. That'd be muchly appreciated. And if you jump up there and smash that bell icon, you'll never miss any of my clips again. Well, rightio, so let's get into it. Was Martin Bryant, or could Martin Bryant have been smart enough to do what they are alleging. Rightio, legends. So this is the WASP files. So if any of you legends aren't over there following the WASP files, jump over there and show some love, because as a lot of you guys are very interested in this stuff, I'm sure that you will find this right up your alley. But rightio, let's get into it.
Could someone of Martin's character, makeup, and intellect have carried out the Port Arthur massacre? Some of the activities that took place suggested that the shooter had a very high degree of training. The shooter was able to accomplish a very high kill ratio in a very short amount of time that a lot of professional soldiers and people that are very proficient with firearms have said that there are very, very few people in the world that can achieve that kind of result.
Right, I'm back.
Welcome to the WASP files. Some of this material may be distressing and viewer discretion is advised. The main question on everyone's lips regarding the Port Arthur massacre is, was Martin Bryant solely responsible for the tragedy? The follow-up question is, was Martin Bryant capable?
So how old, like the WASP files, I've been watching this for a couple of years now. So how far back's Biff gone with this? His IQ was 64. His IQ was 64. He was Oh, 64 intelligence, right. I was thinking 64-year-old. Oh, yeah, that stupid intelligence scale thing. Yeah.
Of carrying out something as heinous as the Port Arthur massacre. So I'd like to discuss his aptitude.
So, Cammy, where are you? Are you still there? Should come in. I don't know how long I'll stream for, but I've been watching, binging on Picard series. I'm just on the last episode of season 2. It was a little bit hard to get through. Picard's childhood flashbacks. Oh God, that was cringe. But I've made it. I've made it to the 10th episode of season 2 of Picard, and I don't remember if I've seen the 3rd, but I'll be watching the 3rd. And I mean, anything seems better than Discovery. This, Picard's a classic compared to Discovery.
His ability, his mental state, and his physical prowess, if you like, and skills, particularly firearms, in order to be able to carry out what most modern-day terrorists would consider to be a successful assault on the civilian population. It's been well reported that Martin had an IQ of 66, which makes him the mental equivalent of an 11-year-old child. He was a grown man, of course, and had a lot of mental...
Makes the intelligence of half of my family. Yeah, I really want to see a description, YouTube.
Advantages. This had been reported that he may also have had Asperger's type syndrome.
So it's also said, and so if you guys take a look into the WASP files, you will see what I'm talking about. There are ex-prison officers that have come forward that were working at Risdon Prison at the time when Martin Bryant was there, and said that he was literally tortured into making that confession.
Yeah. And possibly suffered from schizophrenia. A lot of the medical diagnoses of Martin's mental state have been fairly nebulous. Nothing's really been locked down as to exactly what were his skills and his deficiencies. Relating to a mental disadvantage, if you like, is also considerations of physical disadvantages such as eye-hand coordination, the ability to reason, the ability to improvise, to think on his feet, to be able to pre-plan and to carry out, in essence, a well-planned and large-scale magnitude physical assault with firearms that ended up with such a high kill ratio that people were astounded to this day.
He shows it. I saw the end of this stream, but he shows Chopper Reed's thoughts on it. Yeah, no, look, his neighbours, they never show you those videos of some of the locals who knew him, like these three kids live next door to him, and they interviewed them, and they go, "Oh yeah, he was great. We'd go over to his place, and if we were playing with a toy, he'd say, 'Do you want that?' You know, he used to be so generous. They love going over there because Marty would give away everything." Yeah. I mean, his girlfriends, like one was made to make up stories about him, the other one stuck by him to this day. You know, like he had two girlfriends, you know, at different times. Yeah. So it wasn't like he was a total spaz who, you know, never had a girlfriend or anything. And they both said he was sensitive and caring. And he loved animals. I mean, you know, I always judge a person by if they care about animals or not. But that's my number one score point of what a person is how their empathy of animals. I always said to the young dudes and girls I knew, you know, when you get a boyfriend or girlfriend, you know, find somebody who has a genuine love of animals and anyway.
Now that same officer that come forward and said that Martin Bryant was tortured said that, like, there is absolutely no way this person was possible or capable of doing that. He said every single day he had to be reminded of what he was doing and had to be shown how to do things constantly.
Could someone of Martin's character, makeup, and intellect have carried out the Port Arthur massacre? There has been some question as to the aptitude of Martin Bryant, particularly in regards to his low IQ,
I don't know about
in
that.
being able to strategize and use tactics that a lot of the military employ.
I mean,
who are trained, of course, in
I never
very
heard
proficient use and lethal use of firearms. One of these was that Martin Bryant had taken a lot of trips overseas because he'd inherited a lot of money, which enabled him some degree of freedom to be able to travel, even though a lot of his finances were controlled under a public trustee. So Martin had been able to organise trips overseas, book tickets and take flights and book in luggage, apparently, which suggests that, you know, he was able to be capable of undertaking international flight to many countries. One of the most notable of these was that he took a trip specifically to Hereford in England. Hereford is a very sensitive place. It's a home of the Special Air Service, the British highly trained commando regiment, and also home of British intelligence. Martin Bryant had attended there on a holiday and apparently had acted in such a way that there were some suspicions about his activities that raised a red flag back home. This hasn't been detailed in any great extent, but that apparently was reported, that he had in essence been hanging around the military bases in Hereford in the UK. Some theorists are saying that that was where he may have been trained. There are also reports that when he came back from that trip, which was one of the last that he undertook before the Port Arthur massacre, that he was in quite a distressed state, quite agitated and not happy, yet to be determined once again. So there were also indications that he had read military publications, and some of the activities that took place during the Port Arthur massacre suggested that the shooter had a very high degree of training. So to differentiate, we've got Martin Bryant with a low IQ and reported incidences where he was not very well versed with fire.
Could it have been that he was around the Hereford Army base because he is someone of low intellect and you know, is very common for people like for Martin Bryant to be, you know, for them, the army is just something that is in the movies and stuff like that for people of very low intellect. And could it have been that you know, he was just simply admiring the army base as it looked?
Or, yeah, they gave him a tour of the army base and then put him under a sort of MK Ultra thing where when the event happens, he will be there agreeingly, help make some sandwiches and some cup of teas, and but as far as the killing, nah. But
Who knows?
yeah, it
Let me
sounds
know
like
in the
a great
comments.
place to start off with a bit of the old MK Ultra on a hidden army base. I also heard he went to America and he was actually related to some well-known Hollywood celebrities. And I've forgotten the story of that. That's another one where he was he was adopted by his mother. But then when you look at his mother, he looks a lot like her. So I don't know about that one. That came out early in the piece.
Section.
Usage and operation, and had some difficulties with not only his mental state but also his eye-hand coordination. Martin was left-handed, not right-handed. By all reports, the shooting that took place at the Broad Arrow Cafe is an astounding feat. At least 20 victims were taken in a very short amount of time in that one location. That's the majority of the overall amount
Total
of victims that were taken,
military
which was 35
shots.
killed and 28 injured on the day. The gunman had entered the cafeteria, purchased a meal, sat out on the balcony, came in, withdrew the Colt SB1 and opened fire on the patrons that were seated in the cafe. In the space of approximately 2 minutes, though it was reported by prosecutor Damien Bugg that the shooting duration in the cafe was 90 seconds, the shooter had 20 people. 7 of those were because the fire exit door at the Broad Arrow Cafe had been nailed shut, and they were killed as they tried to escape through the fire exit door and were crowded in that environment when the shooter was able to come down. Most of the victims were killed with headshots that were fired from the hip by the gunman. Witnesses stated that the gunman was
fireworks,
very collected, and also it was reported that he was dancing in the terms of how he moved with the firearm, that he would spin, lift the rifle, acquire a target, open fire. There was no spray and pray. Of the victims and the use of the firearm was very controlled, very accurate, and resulted in a high amount of people's deaths, mainly from headshots, in a very short amount of time before the gunman then exited the Broad Arrow Cafe, not in any panicked way, not running, basically walking out of the cafe, as one witness said, like he was on a stroll.
Standing there looking at him. He walked right by me, not far away from me, just walked out of there casual as can be.
It was reported that whilst in...
What? Jane Velasco, a Jewel. Hey, Jewel happened to be touring there and be an eyewitness. Okay. Shalom, shalom. Shalom.
In the cafe, the shooter had fired 29 shots from a 30-round magazine, which the Colt SB1 was able to hold.
Oh, God. What was...
This is considered to be a military tactic in the sense that when you're in an enclosed space and there is some kind of danger of being apprehended or someone trying to grab the rifle, before changing magazines, trained individuals leave one round in the breech of the rifle so that whilst they are reloading, the gun is never empty. That way, if someone tries to grab the rifle, they can quickly employ that against the person making that attack.
They haven't mentioned that the SAS were there on the scene 6 hours later. There's all these SAS there. But, what, after the cafe burnt down and shit.
Before placing a new magazine into the well.
Well, that's pretty interesting, considering, people are saying that, it's pretty much only special forces and, the conspiracy are that maybe certain types of agencies may have been involved in this. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that is what
no, I'm not saying that at all.
Theories say.
Continuing shooting.
Not at all. Like, the Bali bombing, just, 2 years later? Yeah, same SAS guys were there, like there was actually one of the leaders of them, exact same guy was at Port Arthur, was at the Bali bombing thing, and that was like, they were there in no time. 8 hours. It's all speculation, isn't it? You can only theorise. I mean, I don't know, I wasn't there. But sus is fucking sus, and just as sus as the Gus case and the Desi case and the fucking Bondi case. And
it's considered to be a military tactic. Whether or not this is learned, luck
trails
in regards
Don't
to the
forget the
shooter
trail
or just
family.
training. It basically prevented the shooter from being apprehended and stopped.
Very
There were
stuff.
some of
Oh,
the
they hadn't uncovered
patrons of
troll
the cafe
traffic.
had attempted to distract the shooter. One of them threw a tray to try and distract the gunman from opening fire. But the
That's
shooter
what I
knew what they
said,
were doing.
Glenn. All headshots.
They were very calm, very methodical.
Very
There
good.
didn't seem to be any highly emotive state, which comes down once again to training
300
and
yard
aptitude,
shots.
because in the event of something like a combat situation, a lot of physiological and psychological factors come into play. As stated before, it's not just as easy as pulling a trigger. There's a rush of adrenaline. There's a heightened sense of emotive state, given the panic of the people around you, people running, people scrambling, people ducking and dodging. The noise alone in a confined space, any rifle fired would cause some degree of hearing loss. So whether or not the shooter had some form of hearing protection beneath the blonde hair is yet again to be determined. But all of these factors can distract somebody from the accuracy and proficiency of their use of the firearm. The shooter was able to, however, accomplish a very high kill ratio in a very short amount of time that a lot of professional soldiers and people that are very proficient with firearms have said that there are very, very few people in the world that can achieve that kind of result. One of these was very decorated Australian soldier by the name of Brigadier Ted Sarong, who had stated that there was maybe 3 people in the world that could achieve that level of kill ratio. He was a decorated and very highly trained Australian soldier. Once the shooter had exited the cafe, he switched to a much more powerful and long-range firearm, which was the FN-FAL, and continued shooting. The other aspect of the Port Arthur massacre is the multiple staged events. So you've got the initial shooting at Port Arthur cafe, and then the shooter was able to think on their feet and improvise. They exited the cafe calmly, as one victim said, like they were on a stroll. There was no running, there was no panic. They continued shooting outside before making their way down to the buses and engaging victims around and on the buses, in one case shooting fatally.
I let my licence expire not long before this happened. I was just lazy. I just thought, oh, well, I'll just get it again if I need it. But yeah, good luck getting it now. I almost got it just before COVID. I was all booked in and everything, and going to go to the rifle range, you know, with me mate and his cop mates, and all set to go, and then it was all cancelled for everybody. No more, you know, can't do shooting range, even though the shooting range is way out in the middle of fucking pine forests. No COVID's out there, wasn't it?
A victim through the window of a bus from the interior of a parallel parked bus. So many more victims were taken outside at greater ranges before the shooter then made their way to their Volvo and drove out of the Port Arthur historic site. Along the way, there were more victims.
Volvo was set on fire.
An improvised assault took place near the toll booth, where the shooter was able to commandeer a vehicle after killing 4 people that were involved in that situation at the toll booth, and switching vehicles and then making their way down towards a service station nearby, where they pulled over and intercepted a vehicle that was exiting the service station. They managed to kidnap one of the male occupants of the vehicle at gunpoint and force them into the boot of the car before returning and killing the male occupant's girlfriend, Zoe Hall. Then that BMW with the hostage inside was driven towards the Seascape cottage, which was set up to be and pre-planned to be the site of the final siege that was to take place at the climax of the Port Arthur massacre. The shooter stopped near the driveway entrance to the Seascape cottage along the side of the access roads to Port Arthur and opened fire on oncoming vehicles that were travelling on the roads, causing further damage, injury, disabling vehicles. Before making their way down to the cottage, the BMW was later set on fire, and the resultant siege that took place at Seascape employed a number of tactics which were considered to be very clever in terms of suggesting that there was more than one shooter at the Seascape cottage, which may or may not have been the case. This has not been determined once again in a court of law, but many indications were that there were tactics involved and use of weapons involved that gave the shooter.
But do not fear, everyone, because the files about this whole case are to be opened in, I think, 80 years' time. Yeah, we'll find out in 80 years' time. For some reason, you know, like Martin never had a trial, never went to court. There was nothing. No jury, no fucking That's the first time I've ever known of someone going to prison without it actually ever going to court. So he wasn't even properly charged by a judge or anything. Just no need to take it to court for this special case of this special person.
A great degree of skill and proficiency. Police that were fired upon were pinned down for hours with bullets very, very close to where they were located. The shooter had night vision equipment on one rifle with which he was able to spot Special Operations Group creeping up on the seascape.
Not even a closed hearing.
And also there were indications that lights were being turned on and off, distractions were being created to give the impression that they weren't sure where the shooter was, how many there were, what firearms were being used, multiple firearms were being discharged. Those who don't know much about firearms at all claim very easily that anyone could do what Martin Bryant did, and that is totally inaccurate. Even at the close ranges that a lot of the firearms
I couldn't, and I'm an excellent shot.
It's not as easy as just pulling a trigger. So the question comes into it, was Martin Bryant trained?
God, Glenn, I tried the, what was the gun Ned Kelly used? A Colt 35, was it? Or 45? 35, I think. Yeah, fuck, beautiful gun. So, just use your two hands and fucking accurate as, light as, hardly any kickback. Magnum 44 handgun. Oh, fuck, I hated that noisy fucking thing in it. Too much kickback. It's just like, yeah. Nah, rather stick to a smaller gun. But no, handguns are fun. Just for target practice, that's all I've ever done. Clay pigeons or shotguns. Oh God, I was good at that. Shooting target with two clay pigeons with one shot. That was my best I got. But I was able to get two in the air by double action. We had the clay pigeon hurler. My mate come out all the time. Out in the bush, we were on my landlord's property, 40 acres. It was a perfect spot down at the dam. Big hill, no bullets could go through the big hill at the side of the dam. The target's there. And neighbour next door to us used to do the exact same thing. I'd hear him shooting, right, go, hey, get over it. We're doing the same thing, eh? Got to get them foxes. Rabbits and rascally rabbits, and I miss the shooting days. But times have changed. It's not like you can just chuck your rifle in the car and no cop would even think if you check your trunk. So your gun license? Oh, no worries. These days it has to be in a fucking vault. Yeah, ammo in another vault. So if someone's home invading you, fuck all chance of opening two vaults in a short amount of time. What's the combination? Fuck for the ammo.
How proficient was he in not only being able to operate firearms, but being able to deploy them against human beings? It's one thing to shoot targets. It's very much another thing to shoot live people, particularly in a traumatic and frightening situation.
And especially the major difference is that when you go to a target range, your target is in one specific spot and not moving at all. And it really makes you scratch your head, which is going to lead me to ask you guys, what do you guys think so far on the last couple of videos that we've done? As a matter of fact, it was you legends that made me stumble across this page and asked me to do some reactions. So let me know what you guys think so far.
Martin did own firearms, and Martin, in essence, was a shooter. When he was aged 14, his father bought him an air rifle. And apparently he used to not only shoot birds with the slug gun, as they used to be called, but was
I heard that actually
at tourists when they stopped to pick fruit that had been placed by the side of the road for them to purchase. This was considered to be a strong indication of his violent and antisocial behaviour. From personal experience, and I know growing up as a child where I was living, every kid had a slug gun, as they were known, air rifle. Before they were considered to be air arms that needed to be registered as.
We also had slug guns as well, and I remember a time where you could buy.
So Biff, when did you? I had my slug we had a slug gun, a couple of slug guns. I think my grandpa bought it for us. Me and my brothers had, 3 guns. Hey, we always had a gun each. Then by the time I was 12, full on 22 rifle, scopes. Here, sons, go get some rabbits. I didn't shoot the rabbits, I just did target practice. I didn't like killing. Still don't. Rabbits never did anything to me. But, me brothers, no problems. Oh, the cute little rabbits playing, boom. What the fuck?
Hi. Specific slug guns on the back of certain magazines in Australia here.
Weapons. Every kid had a slug gun, and every summer they would decimate the bird population.
Biff didn't have it.
There was almost like a private place where someone would come to school and say, "Oh yeah, I shot 26 birds."
I was in the country.
As as unethical as that may seem.
Where was Biff? I think he was in Cranbourne or somewhere. But didn't he? He was up near. What is it? Wagga Wagga and shit. Yeah. For a while, but I think he's back down in Cranbourne. So yeah, he has lived country. I won't say he's not a clue about the country. But now he's a city swine.
Air rifles
Suburbia.
were pretty much another part of
Suburbanite
kids or teenagers' upbringing back in the early days of the 1970s easily up to the 1980s. And Martin Bryant was not really anomalous in that regards. He had a slug gun and he used a slug gun. I do know that when I was around at that time as a child that there were people too that would shoot at cars, not to deliberately hurt people, but it was a very irresponsible use of slug guns because they were not considered to be lethal. Though certainly you could lose an eye with an air rifle. So Martin apparently was a good shot with an air rifle. Later on, of course, as he grew into manhood and came into some money from the wealthy heiress Helen Harvey, he was able to purchase firearms.
I had mates on other farms and stuff, and we'd go shooting. Spotlighting was their favourite thing, just like getting around at night with a light. Yeah, every kid my age had a gun, and we were all taught to be responsible. Never pointed a gun at anyone. That's the first thing. It's always loaded. Second thing is, keep your gun pointed down. Rifle. A rifle isn't a gun. Yeah. And third thing is don't shoot unless you intend to kill. If you're going to kill, make sure it's a quick kill, with an animal. And if someone's trying to kill you, never hesitate. Not that that's going to happen. No, guns always loaded. That's, God. I'd hate to see kids these days with guns. But no, we're all responsible. It's like drummed in our heads. It's like, hey, clean your gun and be responsible for it. And never be a fuckhead and shoot at cars or something. What the fuck? What was Biff doing? Shooting at cars that can shatter a windscreen, you idiot. What?
Firearms of a much higher caliber and relevant lethality if misused. There is.
So for those of you that don't know, in his last few years of life of freedom, he became in contact with one of the heiresses of Tattersalls, and then so that person actually left him quite a fortune. 2 houses, a bit of a mansion-style house and another farm. And, she left absolutely everything to Martin Bryant.
Still a little bit of mystery as to exactly how many...
hang on, Biff. What did you say? Oh, God, this fucking mouse. Fuck.
And relevant lethality if misused. There is...
So for those of you that don't know... in his last few years of life of freedom. He became...
Nah, what was his last few? It was like last 5 years, I think. Anyway.
In contact with one of the heiresses of...
Oh, he'd known the lady a long time.
Tattersalls. And then so that person actually left him quite a fortune, 2 houses, a bit of a mansion-style house and another farm. And, she left absolutely everything to Martin Bryant.
Still a little bit.
And why do you think that was? It was because he considered her like his second mum. And she never had a son, so she treated him like a son, and it was just a weird friendship. But people suggested, he was probably sexual, and blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. I think she just, he was probably the only one who gave the time of day at her old age or something. Oh no, he killed her and got all her money, and tried to make her crash off the car crash the car once, and oh god, I watched the what was Tin Ma Nitram, yeah, Nitram, that's right, Nitram movie. Yeah, that's all set before the Port Arthur thing, like a year of Martin's life or something. And God, did they exaggerate shit in that. Fucking straight out lies. But I got no respect to the movie maker. He made Snowtown. He made this horrible Ned Kelly film that was just fucking atrocity. It's like some stupid university project. It was mental. Ned Kelly and all his gang were all dressed up as girls, and it's just like a woke movie to piss off those who loved the Bushranger. Anyway.
Mystery as to exactly how many firearms Martin Bryant owned, whether they were legally purchased, and more importantly, how proficient he was with those firearms. Martin, by his own claims, was that he didn't shoot a lot, that he would take paper targets out in the bush and shoot the paper targets. Whether or not he was a super accurate shooter with some of the firearms that he allegedly did own, such as the Colt SP1 and the FN FAL rifle, a AAA Australian Arms semi-automatic rifle was discovered hidden in a piano at his house in Clare Street, Newtown. Never been determined whether that firearm was used or shot.
Piano.
We don't have any indications of whether he used to shoot a gun club. He also had the Daewoo semi-automatic shotgun, and he claimed that he didn't shoot it because it sort of frightened him, which is a very unusual thing to say for someone who enjoyed firearms. Colt SB1s and FNA.
Yeah, the Magnum 44.
Quite a loud noise and would be considered to be frightening to fire. Some of the reports from people that had interactions with Martin Bryant supposedly seem to indicate that he was not very proficient in the handling of the guns that were in his possession. Prior to Port Arthur, somebody...
I just a break for a minute. Right, Adler side, we're talking our slow depopulation plan of Waddy. Yeah, fuck, look at the UK. It's, suburbs where there's 95%, 5% are white in certain towns, cities now. Just insanity. France, like some Italian island, I think the population's 500. Yeah, suddenly they got 2,000 immigrants on the island, just lazing around. No, this is all part of the Kalagi plan. You know about the Kalagi plan? It was drawn up back in 1920s or something to destroy Europe, Commonwealth, by this, Zionist influencer. And the other one was the Greater Israel Plan. And all of that has been set in motion. God, it really started to go on steroids by 2015. You couldn't believe the amount of Indians we've got now, let alone the Somalians. Yeah, they mainly get these Africans from like 3 different places. That's all. What about all the other African places? We just get these ones from these 3 different areas? What the fuck's that? Not any other, like South Africa, actually. There's areas there that protested about the immigrants going to South Africa, and these are immigrants from some other African place that are all infiltrating South Africa. So even in Africa, they got African immigrants invading South Africa, just lobbing up there. But they're not taking it; they're protesting. So go figure. But yeah, no, it's a big problem. We're definitely being phased out, Whitey. They start off trying to get smaller families, try to have less people having kids, Every young person I say, have as many kids as you can, but we need to get our numbers up. I say that to Indigenous people here. They only make 3% of the population in Australia. What are we, 40%? Now, I don't think it used to be 50. I doubt it. No, it could still be 50. I'm not sure. I can't be bothered looking at the stats, but yeah, it's dwindling. And yeah, of course, the people they bring in have big, gigantic 15 children families and 4 wives. Same with the Jewish people. They always have like 12, 15. None of them ever work. We always, now they want to give Israel free land in the Kimberleys. Yeah, just hand it over. No, here's some free land. Do what you want. Yeah, we want to build drones on this military infrastructure we're going to build there, and some stupid fucking billionaire bitch Reinhardt says, yeah, no, go for it. I'll set it up for you because I'm right in with the government. And then she gets Pauline Hanson on board with it. And, God, they're all sellouts, just filthy, disgusting sellouts. The land grabs, the destroying of our forests and animals' habitats, and fucking pretend it's for energy. Yeah, fuck. We've had these fucking yeah. Oh, good. I thought it might be. I had a strong feeling. I knew it wasn't that other that freakazoid. Yeah, anyway. That person wouldn't be able to put a sentence together like that. Gordon, hey, where you been?
Oh, I've been. Yeah, Dr. Adler's ID in the house.
Thank you. We need one.
Right, yeah, how you been?
Yeah, I'm tired. Always. Lately. I'm very exhausted. Oh no, winter really takes it out of me. I fucking hate it. I was fine up until 2 days ago when the weather went real fucking cold and shit. We had nice sunny days for 5 days. No chemtrails. Yeah, and I walk out at 1 o'clock and I look up and there's trails everywhere. And I go, oh yeah, tomorrow will be fucked. And sure enough, and today.
Yeah, we're just getting a lot of strange fog. You'd think we're in London or something, but yeah, just unusual weather, but not so strange that I'm gonna start my hair on fire and jump out the window or anything.
It doesn't smell chemical or anything.
Yeah, early morning it does, and yeah, early morning. That's when the fog comes in.
That's weird. It's probably from them data centers drifting up into areas.
And there's a lot of big topics of conversation. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm insane.
It's just all going to shit in a handbasket.
It truly is.
Yeah. And you're right though about all that. Yeah, I can know. It's we're seeing it here too. Yeah. Wipe out the farmers as well. Most of them are white and Italians. And fuck the Italians, fuck the Asians. They don't care. They want to bring in all these other ones who don't do a day's work. And
yeah, I guess my most important thought is, how badly must you mistreat, I don't know, a herd of cattle, let us say. I think that's an apt analogy. How badly do you have to mistreat a herd of cattle before they have no desire to procreate anymore?
Yeah.
So, it's like white people have been so bashed for such a long time and constantly told that they're horrible white Nazi, racist, all kinds of things. And they're like, and the society has become so violent. They're like, no, I'm not having children,
And I didn't grow up in a generation like that. No one go, fuck who you were. It was all equaled out equally, and it wasn't like any influx of any particular ethnicity. But that's all shit. And all these people who were here from Europe and that, they do good works, like the Italians, the best growers you could ever fucking want in your country, Same as South African, the white ones there, the farmers, they know how to grow, but no, we won't let them in our country the last 20 years, even though they're under siege.
But yeah, for about 45 years in the U.S., the media has been on a total blitz about evil white racist Nazis, privilege, just privilege. And yeah, they've been saying, they've been telling the certain segment of the population that we raise our children to be racist and hate them, and that we're just evil like that, I guess. But
yeah. Saw some funny meme of Martin Luther. It seems I was wrong about judging the person by the colour of their skin, or something like that.
They were judged by their character the whole time.
Yeah, something like that. Seems I was wrong about judging the person by the character. Anyway, mustn't grumble because good news. Trump's going to have a world fair next year. He's had the American fair, or what do they call it? The Trump fair. Apparently, no one turned up hardly.
I don't know anything about that motherfucker. I tell you what.
Oh, fuck, it's embarrassing.
Oh my God, everything.
Like, pissed out every day the fair was open. It was meant to be a big thing. He made it was going to be a world fair last year. And then it turned out to be a piss poor, no turn up fucking event. They had arches there made of look like paper mache or shit. It was all coming apart in the road, and oh God, it's like.
I mean, this is how you thoroughly demoralize the people, is when it gets to this.
It's like, let's bring in Trump to make America look like absolute shit now, garbage. We'll have motorbikes on the White House, doing loops and cage fighting. And,
right.
Let's play football too.
We're gonna have gladiators at a replica of the Colosseum, and we're gonna really get down.
It's like that's those times always. It's like idiocracy on steroids.
It was kind of a right-wing thing that they hated Bud Light and they hated Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, and then Trump immediately did some UFC thing. This is years back.
Mm-hmm.
And Bud Light was the primary.
Wow. It's shit. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not that bad.
Oh,
if it's cold, no, it's not that bad. They just don't want to haul around water. They want to sell more premium beer. So what the people at Anheuser-Busch did is they bought shares in the other breweries because they know they go up, especially after they made a complete fool of themselves by having that Tran boy do
Delvani or something.
Yeah, what was I don't even remember that.
Delvani. Someone Delvani. Yeah, he cracked me up. I mean, whatever. But what did you say? I think I showed. Yeah, Calvin. I think his name used to be. But anyway, he did this opossum thing with his mum. His mum sort of was the one who created him in a way.
Yeah, I saw that numerously.
So crazy. So tacky.
But I mean, this is nothing but a goddamn commercial that I'm watching, and I'm looking at history play out in real time, and it's nothing but a fucking commercial, you know.
It's like like a big circus joke, and you know everyone's just dumbed down to the limit. Hey, let's get in a president that can talk stupid so stupid people can understand him. And
it's been about 3 years now, a little over, that I talked to my brother last, and you know, I told him not to wear the Trump hat, you know, and you know, it's like he's just so stupid that I mean, I could ridicule him for hours, but he's only my half brother and not by the good side. You know, I do have the one side of my family, yeah, they're fucking trash, and the other side of the family is actually quite good. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like anyway.
All my family trash. No. You're all fucked in the head. But anyway, I mustn't. Nah, like there's a couple that are past 67 as far as IQ.
Oh, one interesting thing that's going around is America is coming up on its quarter millennium, so to speak. You know, 250 years of being a country, but it's not really being hyped up in the.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like Trump wants it to be all about him, not about 250 years of America. What the fuck?
I mean,
egotistical cut.
They have no flags up yet. Okay. And last year at this time, we're coming up on the 4th of July, the quarter millennium. It should be just a gala celebration, but there are no American flags on the street. Okay. And I'm just
that should be the proper American fair, you know, where they have a big, giant fair to celebrate, you know, the old history of America and themes, and should be like party time, you know.
Yeah, but nobody is even looking.
No one's patriotic anymore because they don't know which party to choose anymore because they realize they're both fucked.
Okay, for 10 blocks down Main Street of my town, and that's basically the entire town, right? So 10 blocks down Main Street, there'd be 3 flags on each side of the street for every block. And, you know, it's like that's 60 American flags just proudly displayed last year. And now this year, nothing. Not a peep.
Yeah, that shows the sign of the times, mate. You know, we're living in the dark ages of, there never were any dark ages. This is it. We're now living the dark ages of
America has been so long. I don't know. The people have been manipulated by psychological operations from the military. It's so obvious, but yeah, people don't even approach me about any of these topics. Nothing. You know, it's like, it's okay, fuck you. My boss, the only thing he wants to talk about is his next vacation or all the vacations he's been on. And, you know, I don't know, just how him and his wife have been together for 40 years and they never get along. It's always makeup sex, you know. It's like it's always dude, it's always makeup sex with them. Otherwise, they have to have a good fight before any that activity takes place. But anyway, he's coming.
I've heard of that before. Yeah. Have to have a drama before they. And it's a makeup. Fuck. Yeah. Makeup. Fuck. Oh well. Yeah. I can't remember if that's happened to me or not.
So let me see. You haven't seen Glenn from Boston lately, have you?
No. He turned up about 2 months ago. I think D-Man was there too, and that's the last. Yeah.
And I think I had a falling out with Lee, kind of. But anyway,
all right.
He was being snarky and what I thought as being passive aggressive, and I don't know. I just, he hasn't been on your channel for a long time either. But anyway, it's sad to say, but I think I had a kind of a falling out with Lee, and I still love him, but god damn, you test my patience so many times here. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah,
on the phone.
No, I left a comment on one of his videos, asked if he wanted to do a live stream because I had a few hours, and he just made a lot of snarky comments, and then he completely took down the video that I was leaving the comments on, and the comments were on. I left him just some hey, get in touch, I'll do a live stream, blah blah blah, and it was that one where the that cute wombat was crawling on the guy's back, and yeah, and anyway,
he took it down. That was a good video.
I know. He took it down, or I can't find it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just tired. I'm just tired, bro.
I have to force himself to stream these days. So worn out. I've been busy. Yeah.
Yeah, you do any new videos? I haven't noticed, but I was thinking you'd do a video of you going to the beach with Bruno or something.
No, I have actually, but I'm so pissed off with my camera when I see Tioni's phone quality. It's like 4K. It's so beautiful, crystal. Then I look at my phone footage. Like, that's shit. Okay, I'll show you one I did just the other day.
Well, it's not like you have a potato phone. It's or a potato camera. It's actually
the lens. The lens
pretty
is
decent. Well, if you take a Q-tip, maybe, I don't know, maybe you could clean that thing off a little bit.
I've tried it. It's like a needle pin, like it's so. It just doesn't work though. It's just. Hang on, where are we? I took Kiva to the pier the other day. I think this is, where is it? I don't know. Is this it? No, not that one. Must have been here. I got a bit scared actually.
Yeah. The water.
I was thinking if she falls in, I'm gonna have to.
Hey, what? Don't get too close.
I was thinking if she falls in, because she does rush around a bit.
Yeah, Ken. I mean, my God, I bet she would end up back on the pier and you would drown.
Oh God!
Near the edge.
It was too. The water would be freezing. That's what I was dreading.
Okay.
I was getting a bit scared here, going, oh shit.
Oh my God!
Where you going, buddy?
You should take.
I forgot how there's no handrails.
Okay. I'll hold your hand.
There you go. There you go, Ken. Look at that.
Look at the birds. Look at all the birds. Hey.
I was going. I shouldn't have taken her
on.
She wanted to go on the pier.
Oh, that bird had a poo. Been a funny bird.
Hold on to her
With a
hand.
big
My
poo.
God. Yeah, just no, you don't want to take a dip. Oh my God.
No,
Seabirds.
it was sunny, but it's
Oh.
still cold. You know, in the shade it
Alright.
was like freezing.
Look at a boat out there. Look, a boat. We'll see how close we can get. Oh, off they go.
I think that was a
Yeah, that's if you fall in, I chuck that in and you grab it. If you fall in the water.
Yeah,
That's to save you if you fall in the water.
See, it's on my mind. I'm going,
You don't want to fall in the water, bud.
I want to get
Oh, look, we've got
Yeah, you
birds at this
don't
end.
want to fall in the water.
Good, Keith, look up that end. Let's go this way. We're scared of birds. Hey, birds.
Scatter.
Scatter.
What are those?
Yeah.
What are those? Kestrels or
There's some
something? I
ducks.
don't know.
See the ducks?
Yeah, some are, you know, they're
Oh,
all
yeah.
seabirds.
Okay, mate, we'll come over here and we'll eat these
There was some
chips, eh?
that was ducks over there.
Nice chips. Where we sit, away
No,
from the water is, that's for sure. Yeah. Come on, guys, watch where you're walking. Hi, buddy. Okay. Yeah, here's good.
Yeah, we got some chippies.
Look at these. Very nice, look. You want one? You don't? Yeah. Grab whichever one you want. Yeah.
We had some fish as
They're
well.
very good chips. Nothing like chips at the water, at the ocean, eh? Yeah, just stay back here, bro.
Yeah, don't fall in the water, little one.
Yeah.
There were jellyfish in there too.
Don't get too close to the water, buddy.
Deadly jellyfish. Nah, they weren't
Scarier
deadly.
than I thought. I'm worried about you falling over. I'm going to hold your hand on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit scary for me.
She knows.
Aye.
Back.
You want to go back?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wait.
Let's
go.
get the hell off this pier.
Enough seafaring for the day.
Yeah.
Well, she's getting close to like 5 or something now, right?
No, she's only like, when did she turn 3 in April?
Yeah.
Found a ball.
Yeah, there's another one up there in the. Don't know
She
what
seems
they're
rather
doing.
adept for 3.
Brought them for the dogs and just
She's
put them up here.
Look.
No, we don't want to take them all.
Look, my friend Tanya, she's like 11.
No, but the child has
she's
gait
almost
and
6 foot
mannerisms.
tall.
Yeah.
Tanya's daughter's 5, and Kiva's the same size as her. You know, it's like, Kiva's got to be tall. You know? Yeah, she's got big feet. She's growing out of her shoes real quick now. You know. Yeah.
We'll leave them for someone with a doggy. They can throw the ball to the dog.
And then she gets to meet a dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
I knew this dog.
I'm not home.
Oh, no. Noisy little
And,
bird.
then this lady I know, Bev, comes
That's a
along.
nice old girl. Good girl. Yeah.
Gumtree.
See you, Bucky. Say, see you, Bucky. Want to throw it again? Yeah.
Yeah, she got to play with this doggy. He's little Brock. Little sausage dog that Bruno would eat, you know.
Good girl. Yeah. See you, Bucky. Say, see you, Bucky.
Oh, that's funny.
He's Want to throw it again? Yeah.
Okay, I've done that anyway. Yeah, you know, when it's a nice day, I take Kiva out. Oh, God. Stop showing.
Good little Rocky. Hey, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Good time, little dog.
Yeah, I nearly bought a Boston Terrier, and I was gonna name him Glenn from Terrier or Glenn from Boston or something. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, he sold out. Yeah, I got a little puppy mill across the way here, and yeah, he creates some puppy dogs. I'm not a small dog guy though. I can't handle that.
Yeah, I don't care really. I mean, dog's a dog, I guess. But I mean, yeah, little chihuahuas. The trouble because they just want to fight other dogs and shit. Yeah, so I take Kiva to the cafe some days, and we just she has her little baby chino, which is like a milk with chocolate or something like that, and marshmallow, and whatever hamburger. Yeah, it's nice. I love it.
It's nice where I live. It's kind of like it's kind of like a retirement community. Other than that, people are just old. Well, they're even a little bit older than me. The median age here is about 59. So yes, these people are very, very old.
Yeah.
And all their children will sell the houses that they inherit to BlackRock and State Street. And, I should own my own home by now, but I certainly do not. But, they'll all go to BlackRock. This will be it's all homeowners right now, but in the future, it'll be a bunch of renters from the Philippines or something.
Yeah. China. So, no, I've had these beautiful sunny days, and down at the cafe, it's really nice and warm. You got this seats outside. You just about fall asleep sitting there in the sun. I feel like an old Italian, at the villa, having the coffee outside at the cafetina.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh. Life is treating you well, and I don't know.
Yeah, the locals are starting to accept me, the cafe, they gave me, when they're closing down, they'll give me stuff to take home for nothing. Pies and things
wow.
like
That's cool. My neighbor just bought a full cow, right? He bought a full cow and he had it butchered. So he gave me like everything in his freezer because he's got to make space for his new cow. He's got a full cow, and that's for him and his sons and whatnot. But he gave me 5 steaks and 6 pounds of ground beef, and so I was like, yeah, absolutely.
No, we have that here. Like, I've got some friends. They used to do that, and you get people to go in with you on a sheep or a cow, And if you're going 3 or thirds, it's not that dear,
But he bought a full
I used
cow.
to do that.
I can't. He doesn't
have.
I don't know. He doesn't have the space for a full cow.
Yeah. Nah, look, it's costs a lot of electricity to have a big freezer.
Yeah, he's got 2 very large freezers, and I don't know the money that you spend on the deal of buying a full cow, buying in bulk versus the money you're spending on electricity. I mean, did he actually do the math on this shit or what? I don't know.
If he's preparing for if the grid goes down, he needs a generator to run that freezer. Otherwise, it's a waste of time.
He needs to salt it and dry it. I don't know.
I got a mate in town. He used to get deer and duck, and I never tried the duck. I tried the deer though; it was good. And he's jerky, deer jerky. Pistol packing Pete. Yeah, he's still alive. Here's me mate who used to come and do gun practice at my joint with all his artillery. He's got all his licenses, handgun and all the others. Mates with quite a few cops, just from the shooting range and all that. They used to do their Wild West theme weekends. They'd all go out. And sound a bit gay to me. They wear long johns like they did in the Wild West, and they'd all live like it's Wild West in a log cabin. And Pete says, "Yeah, you should come along, Ken." I go, "Guys getting around in undies, nah, skip that." So,
but I have one picture to show you here.
Yeah.
And the picture is this. Let me see here.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, gotta set up my camera. And you can't see it very well now.
Oh, nice. That's sort of like the days we're getting. That's weird. You're on the other side of the globe.
But you can't see the truck. Yeah, it's in the shade. But anyway, he's got I don't know, it's a regular meth-mobile, and he rolled it, I guess, and he's got both bumpers he's got both bumpers in the in
the tray.
Anyway, but I guess he completely rolled it, but all his vehicles look like meth mobiles, if you know what I'm saying. So I mean, it's just really all his vehicles, he's got 3, and they're so sketched out. And then he's going to my other neighbor, right? And he's like trying to get all kinds of mechanical advice, because my other neighbor is a very fine mechanic, you know. I mean, he's ACE certified, and he's pretty badass, you know. And he actually works at the one dealership in town, but and they got Corvettes in the window, and it's really kind of cool. But he knows everything about cars, and he hates all new cars, and that's why he drives Suburbans, and from the early 2000s. But anyway, so it's just kind of funny. I don't know. I tried to get the skinny on what the fuck happened and why he rolled his truck. It's like, but I couldn't find out anything. But gossip sells here. You got good gossip. Oh man, you might have a free meal. You at least have a free cup of coffee if you're sharing good gossip. But,
is this town outside of the main town up the road, and it's called Warwick, and every second house there's like 5 cars, on the front lawn, all pulled apart, and in the backyards just full of car parts. And there's all these wannabe mechanics that never seem to get around to finishing these fucking cars. They've sitting there for ages. It's quite funny.
He's literally got his driver's side mirror hanging down, but he needs to pull it through and clamp it down so it stays somewhat usable. And then when he gets out, he has to unclamp it because he has to open his door. Okay. I mean, this is so sketched out, dude. This is like, why don't you just use some fucking duct tape or something? I don't know. But
duct tape's cheap too,
Right.
Doesn't cost much.
But
everything.
But yeah, he will not fix the mirror on the car. And then he's got another truck that is so banged up that it's only the passenger side door, but this guy gets in a lot of shit on the road, you know. He's got 3 vehicles. They're all fucked up.
Yeah, how does that happen, mate? I mean, that ended up happening to me. Shit, what am I talking about? But each time it wasn't my fault, so let me go to Joni's mum once, and yeah, she brought it back totally fucked. Nothing was wrong with it. When, you know, a bloody Toyota Camry, you know.
Hey, how was your car though? Your car is what? You got a good
well,
buy.
I haven't been anywhere in it much, like just up the shops and back lately. But I might take it for a drive on, this week. Yeah,
we'll go on
a bit of a drive for Bruno, and
we'll go on a road trip together, and it'll be badass, you know. But
got to go up the coast, visit Lee.
Terrible. I think Lee's mad at.
Drop in and see this other person on the way, and just burn their caravan down with them inside.
Hey, how is Lee though? I mean, I pray for his health, and you know, it's I hope his eyesight is good, and I don't know, just really.
I talked to him for a while, about a week ago on the phone. Yeah, a few hours, pretty late. But I didn't ask him why I didn't go on streams, man. He just didn't feel like it lately, I guess. You get like that.
Yeah.
So,
I suppose if I really cared and I had a popular channel, I still would not have Joe Dirt anywhere around me. Anyway, I just wouldn't, you know.
Yeah, so you haven't been over at Eric's lately?
No, Eric, what is he pulling in now? He's getting like 30 views per live. 30. Oh my God. Nobody cares what he's talking about. Oh, I actually...
Joe's the only one who goes there now. And
yeah.
Glenn doesn't go there anymore. I don't know. I guess, you know, it's just... it is what it is, you know. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream, Gordon, so we can talk and shit, and I can save on StreamYard time as well.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, do what you do.
Yeah. But I just wanted to show the destruction of our forests in Australia, and the Martin Bryant thing. I was sort of, where was I? About 9 minutes left. Right. You know that psyop we had.
Oh yeah, that's an amazing story. Yeah, I already concur with you on about every point there. So,
and the guy they had defending him, like, it never went to trial. He didn't even go to court. You know, like, when does that ever happen? You know, like, what the fuck? How weird is that? No trial, no court case, no nothing. Just not even a closed hearing. You know, just somehow he's in jail, guilty without any procedure whatsoever.
Had decoyed the only 2 police close to the Port Arthur site.
So I'll just finish this. It's
their job in a critical response was to close the swing bridge across to the mainland.
Just for the audience sake, and then
the emergency site. These 2 officers were decoyed 30 minutes away to the other side of the island at the saltwater mines on a bogus hunt for drugs that supposedly had been found there. Once the constables arrived, they discovered jars of soap powder. Whilst they were over there at the...
Look, Gordon, if ever I see you suddenly turn up with a tat like that, your respect will go down a little bit, you know, but I'll still talk to you. But
I want to give him a tattoo on his nose that is a penis. I don't know. Anyway,
it's like someone else was saying, Ken, when he was drunk, passed out, someone did a dick on him, a real bad dick tat, And so he had to cover up the diktat by doing this.
Right.
And I go, fuck, Jono, I think. I said, you're right. That's what it is, yes.
No,
when
but
he's in prison, they probably did this tacky diktat on his face.
Oh, my
He's had
God.
to cover it up. Are we still live? Oh, shit, we are.
Mine's the shooting took place at Port Arthur.
I've been in a mocking, cynical.
That's pretty interesting as well. Like that's a whole lot of like effort gone into making this take place, and especially to do a decoy like that, and knowing that those two police were the only two police on the island at the time.
Yeah.
So it's a whole lot of thinking gone into making them be away from the scene, so they cannot be the first responders. It's a real head scratcher.
That is a very clever.
Yeah, Biff's head's really hurting over this. It's like his head's almost exploding with all this knowledge.
Decoy endeavour to get the only two police officers that could have attended immediately to the Port Arthur site of road. In essence, leaving the entire site unguarded. There were no
So
armed
he's
guards
never
or
examined
police
this
nearby.
at all.
So when you take all of this together,
Yeah, it's like he just discovered it.
well-planned and multiply staged mass
Real late to the
casualty-inflicting event. So considering that, with Martin Bryant's abilities, if you like, was he able to achieve something like this? It's a mystery, given his low intellect.
Yeah, he runs in the door, says that I missed lunch. It's like, you missed lunch and dinner.
To point out that he had all of
Go
these
to
kind
bed.
of issues, and
It's
that
only
he certainly
about
had
40 or
dysfunctional and violent tendencies.
I
But they
guess.
haven't really determined how someone of that nature could carry out something
a young
as
punk.
efficient and ruthlessly successful, for want of a better term, as the Port Arthur massacre.
Yeah, I mean, it really makes you wonder.
No, it doesn't.
by
I
their
don't
own admission,
really wonder
they are the people who determined that.
Well, I know, and I accept what I know, and it's like I'm not scratching my head or anything. I'm sort of. It's pretty obvious when you see every other psyop and what happened.
Right. But where does like a person like Lee stand on Port Arthur, and where did Sean stand on Port Arthur?
Well, Sean was the one who put me on Port Arthur thing. Yeah, he was
Is
the
that
one
right?
who originally told me about it all and showed me all the stuff. And yeah, and Lee, Lee's probably sort of on the fence about. Actually, I've forgotten. I can't remember, but he's. He's. I think he was open to the fact that it could be anyway.
Yeah, but I do feel bad. I called him passive aggressive, but I think he was, and I said he was being snarky, and he was. So I just can't, it's like I think I saved in the notes somewhere what he said, what I said, but I don't have any problem with Lee. I still love him, and when you talk to him next, just let him know I still love him. But that's not the love that like a Joe Dirt says every live stream to make up for when he was drunk. He always tries to make up because he's always so drunk and stupid. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, but and then there's
I love you, Rockman.
Then there's a long disclaimer that rambles on and makes no sense. And I'm sorry, but I thought, and I was drunk, and like my God. But
yeah, I was found a bit hard to forgive him for that time on Eric's, but anyway.
No, don't forgive him. Why would you forgive him, Ken? Don't do it.
Drunks, they don't know what they're doing. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I keep thinking.
I would rather.
I'm old enough to be his father, the young whippersnapper.
I would rather a person be purposely despicable rather than deal with an idiot like Joe Dirt. That's just my final answer. You remember how horrified I was over the idea that he actually had my home telephone number. And I was, and I forgot that I had given it to him. I could not believe that I was so drunk, and I had actually given him my home telephone number. Thankfully, he lost it, and he hasn't called me since. But anyway,
I remember that. Look, this is only quick, but what Chopper said about Martin Bryant when he met him. You know, Chopper Reed, the notorious.
This is Chopper or
Bryant
Biff
would have
or
done
what's his
this.
name?
Not
So let's
Biff,
take a little bit out.
the guy.
I saw Martin Bryant.
This guy, I met him
Get
once.
his hands between his grill gate.
Nice guy.
White overalls, blonde hair, green eyes. I couldn't help myself. Dr. Lopez was leading me out, and I looked at him. And he said, "Hello, Mr. Reed." And I said, "Why'd you do it?" He says, "I don't know." He said, "1 minute I was eating my Trevelyan peas, and the next minute the room was full of dead people." That's how he spoke. He said, "1 minute I was eating my Trevelyan peas, the next minute the room was full of dead people." He spoke like a little baby.
Little baby.
Like he says as well, at the start of the interview when they brought out not so long ago the unseen tapes, and he says, what can you tell us about the Port Arthur? And he goes, I suppose the things that...
You know what Biff did then? He didn't let him finish his sentence. He said there he was like a little baby poofter.
Mm-hmm.
But Biff's carried out because that's too.
You say that I did. And, you know, it's like he really has no idea what is going on there.
So he spoke like a little baby. 1 minute I was eating my Trevelyan peas, and the next minute the room's full of dead people. Oh. And I said, "Oh, good." Turned around and walked out. But that's a very strange thing, considering he killed 3 people from a distance of 300 yards with a .308 bolt action.
It is still to this day the most used weapon in this type.
They are broad arrow cafe from 300 fucking yards. 300 yards. Who can shoot 3 people? They're obviously running or walking or bending over, crouching or whatever. Who can shoot people in the face from 300 yards away with a bolt action 308? 300 yards. It's a long way.
That's a difficult shot.
Unless he is an idiot savant with
300
a God-given gift for target shooting. And they could easily prove that by taking him to a military rifle range.
I would have to have a hell of a scope.
And getting him to just shoot targets under supervision.
Such a professional.
You'd have the gun chained up there so he couldn't spin it round on you.
Headshots, every one.
Chained up there. And so you couldn't move it that way. Just like bang, bang, bang. Just to see how good a shot he is. What went on there that day? How do you get 34 people? Yeah, from a 300 yard, how do you shoot that many people?
I know.
There's one man to shoot that many fucking people. At this amazing distances, he's getting them with a 308 hunting rifle. Because there's a body of opinion that suggests that there are other people doing the shooting.
Yeah,
I mean, they definitely are saying that. That is for sure, and they're probably saying it.
A 308, you're lucky to get 200 yards accurately. But my question anyway, Gordon.
Yeah, I haven't.
So I'm going to end the stream now. Thank you everyone for joining, and may tomorrow be a blessed day for all, and peace in the Middle East, and from the from the dam to the sea.
What is that saying?
We'll all be free. Anyway, God bless Australia.